My ex-girlfriend wants to place our unborn baby up for adoption, and I'm not sure how to feel about this. I am 23 years old, and my ex-girlfriend is 20. We met in college, but I've graduated since, and she has 2 years of studying left. Currently, she's 21 weeks pregnant, and has told me that she wants to put the baby up for adoption. She was around 14 weeks pregnant when she told me she was pregnant, but we had already broken up 2 months before that, and I honestly had no idea she was pregnant at that time. From the moment I found out that she was pregnant, I told her that I would support whatever decision she made, as I am a firm believer in a woman's right to choose with regards to pregnancies. I feel kind of guilty that I got her pregnant, and I'm internally panicking at the idea of being a father, as it all seems wild and unreal to me right now. I expected her to either have the baby or have an abortion, but when she told me she was planning to put the baby up for adoption, it felt like a gut punch. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but she's already connected with an adoption agency and looking at possible adoptive parents, so I'm not sure what my options here are. In no way or form do I think she should be forced to be a parent, and I completely understand her reasoning, but it's just making me feel sick knowing that my kid would be born but given away straight away. I've started researching the possibility to contest the adoption, but it seems that the requirements are quite harsh. I would have to be willing and prepared to completely support and care for the baby on my own, and maybe most difficult of all, I would need to be able to prove it. On the one hand, I feel bad from thinking about ruining all of her plans, as it might not be fair to her, but on the other hand, I'm becoming more uncomfortable with the idea of adoption by the day. I have not yet told her about this, and do not know what to do. I have spent a long time trying to rationalize why adoption is the best thing for everyone, but there is this feeling of me wanted to be a father to my kid that just won't go away. What can and should I do here? Update 1. Posting an update because I received so many comments that it's hard to really follow up everything there anymore. I was really surprised by how many people responded, and honestly the advice was all over the place. I still think it really helped hearing some unbiased thoughts of my situation though. There's no huge update yet, but I've decided that just sitting here passively and not saying anything won't get me anywhere. My ex and I don't talk every day, but we text every few days. She told me that she hasn't found any adoptive parents that feel right yet, and she really wants me to start looking at the stuff the adoption agency has sent. At that moment, I told her that I'm really not sure how I feel about adoption, and I'm having second thoughts regarding my own desire to be parent for my child. She asked me to come straight to my point, which made me reply that I understand why adoption would be the best decision for her, but that I no longer feel like it's the best decision for me. She was surprised by this, and jokingly asked me if I was going to be a single dad. I calmly said that I was really considering this, and that it might not be as crazy as she thinks. She clearly didn't like this idea, and told me that if she keeps the baby, she would still legally be the mom, and be this horrible deadbeat parent who isn't involved with her child at all. By placing the baby with another family, she breaks the legal ties, and she doesn't have to feel like she's a bad person. Hearing all that made me go silent, and we were not able to work something out yet. I have reached out to my mom on what to do, but even she is unsure of how to feel about me being a single father, but assured me that she would support me either way. She said that she understands my feelings about not wanting my child to be raised by other people, but worries I'm biting off more than I can chew. She thinks it's crazy, and maybe foolish, but believed that I can pull it off if I'm really sure about it, so I'll be reaching out to my ex again in the future and will update again when I know more. Update 2. So, another update on my situation. We were not able to come to an agreement, but I have decided that I'm going to pursue custody of my child either way, and will not be consenting to an adoption. My ex said to me that she might still try to pursue adoption, and there's no way to know right now, as this was the last thing she said to me. She has ignored me since. I have a consultation with a lawyer next week, and in the meantime, I contacted the appropriate local county health departments. I can add myself to the putative father registry, and I've already downloaded the form and will get it notarized and sent off on Monday. This will do nothing to establish paternity, but will hopefully mean that I should be notified if she would try to place our baby for adoption without informing me herself. I'll still need to establish paternity as soon as the baby is born. But I'm not yet sure how that will work, because I'm not even sure she will inform me when she gives birth. I'd really like to be there, or be able to get there as soon as possible, but I have no clue what she's thinking or planning at this point. I, on the other hand, have a pretty clear understanding of my options for establishing paternity. and I'm hoping that by then she'll be willing to sign a document establishing me as the father. Otherwise, I'll need to go through the courts. Now, someone reached out to me if I was 100% certain if it was my child, as I would need to be sure before turning my life upside down. I had not really considered this yet, but it got me thinking, and if possible, I would like to do a prenatal paternity test. But as she's currently not talking to me, there is no way to ask her for this at this time. I really hope that once she has had a chance to process things, we'll be able to talk about this, and might even cooperate. She's really stubborn, so I'm just hoping for the best. With regards to the pregnancy, she should be around 23 weeks now. It feels like her due date is still a long time away, but now that I've decided for myself that I want to take care of this child, there doesn't seem time enough to prepare. It's going to take me a while to figure out some of the logistics. Recently, I discovered that daycare is quite expensive, and even has wait lists that sometimes take up months. I need to start saving extra money, start budgeting, and I'm currently considering moving closer to family. These challenges have not made me rethink my decision, however. I feel more confident than ever about being a dad, and I'll just have to figure out all of these things one by one. If I have any more updates, I'll let you know. Update 3. So, I have quite some news. My ex-girlfriend has given birth to my daughter on New Year's Day. My ex had previously informed me that she didn't want me in the delivery room, and while I was disappointed by that idea, I didn't oppose. In the grand scheme of things, it was something I could live with. She did assure me that she would keep me updated on when she would go to the hospital, so I would have all the time to prepare. Now, this is not what ended up happening. Out of the blue, she sent me a picture and said our daughter was born on New Year's Day. Apparently, she went into labor prematurely, as my daughter wasn't due until the end of January, and she has taken the baby home to her parents. She said to me that it would only be fair that she got a few days with her before I would be taking our daughter away forever. A little surprised about her comment, I told her once again that if she changed her mind about keeping the child, I would support her in that, but I would have to know as I would need to rearrange my life. She denied, however, while at the same time acting as if I was some sort of bad guy taking her baby away. So yeah, this has left me feeling restless and uneasy. It is at least a few days before I can go and visit her, and this whole ordeal has just given me a bad feeling about how my relationship with X will be moving forward. I had really hoped that things could be amicable between the two of us, and I feel like I've been as supportive and understanding as I could have been, every step of the way. I will post another update when I have visited my ex, and when I hopefully have my daughter with me. Until then, take care. Update 4. So, I've had a lot going on since meeting my newborn daughter last month. I've only been at home with her for the last couple of days, and I'm still getting settled. During the second week of January, my sister and I traveled to meet my ex-girlfriend, and I was finally able to meet my newborn daughter for the first time. It was awkward, to say the least, with her whole family staring at me and silently giving me angry looks. They clearly looked at me like I was some sort of evil person that was taking his daughter away from her mother, while in fact she actively chose not to be directly involved. I once again repeated to her that I would understand if she had changed her mind by now, but she denied again. Regardless of the situation, I was so happy to finally meet my daughter. It was an incredible feeling being able to hold her for the first time, and for a short while, she made me forget all my worries. I hung around there for a little while because it felt awkward to just take the baby and leave, until at some point, my ex told me to please leave. She just said that she would want to say a final goodbye before we got back to my home state. My sister and I had rented an Airbnb for the week, so that would be no issue. In hindsight, a week was a bit optimistic, because there was still a lot of administration to do. Because I wasn't able to be at the hospital within 72 hours of her giving birth, I was not able to fill out all of the appropriate paperwork as originally planned. My ex and I had to go to the local health department to file a paternity document, which she willingly signed. The baby's last name will now officially be changed to mine, but my ex decided the first and middle names, which I did not contest. As far as custody goes, the paternity document allowed us to agree to share joint legal custody. She didn't actually want any custody, but the form only allows us to officially establish joint legal custody, as that's just how the law works there. Now, I am opening a court case in order to get this overruled, and this should go smoothly as long as she is in agreement. All of this will take a while longer, and I can say that I will be happy once all the legalities are taken care of, because I don't feel like I'm able to relax for the full 100%. Now, with regards to my wonderful daughter, she's perfect. I think her features are becoming more noticeable by the day, and I can already see a trace of myself in her eyes. She's the tiniest, cutest thing I've ever seen in my life, and it still just doesn't feel real at all. A year ago, I never would have imagined any of this, but I can now say with 100% certainty that I have made the right decision. There is no way in the world that I would give up on my daughter, and will do everything in my power to give her the best life she could ever wish for. I think this was my final update. Once again, I want to thank all of you that have given me advice. Take care.